I'd say that they both have aspects where they're portrayed well. Like Henry Cavill's, I think he's a really good representation of Superman actually being seen as an alien, and like, which is what he is. Like Henry, David Cornsweat's Superman, he's already like just introduced.
Yeah.
But then Henry Cavill's, it shows him starting out.
Yeah,
and
you don't
how
get
he's
to see
viewed. And it also shows it with his dad, like his dad telling him not to use his powers in public because everybody in his family could just be captured by the government.
It does show like the struggle of being Superman.
It's more of a realism thing too.
True, yeah. Well, I feel like what you don't see in Man of Steel, which you do in Superman, is, well, you see David Corenswet Superman, he's already established, as you said, he's already established as a Superman. You don't get to see him growing up as a kid, or you don't get to see his beginnings or anything, right?
Yeah.
However, you do get to see his current day struggles as being Superman, like being seen as an alien and everything. Like Lex Luthor using that against him as well. That was portrayed really well. You get to see how upset he is when he finds out that his parents' message was actually completely different to what he thought. You get to see how distraught he was when he found out his dog was kidnapped. You get to actually see Superman be upset, like not angry and not like. You get to see him in a vulnerable place, if you know what I mean. You get to see him at his worst. You get to see him at his best in that movie as well, which I just don't feel like you get in Man of Steel. You kind of just see him as this very scary type Superman. He gives off a very what's it called? He's quite a big presence rather than like a humble Superman.
He's seen more as a god. Like that's what he has. Like he has like more of a god complex, not him himself, but with the people.
Yeah,
and
people
then
see him.
Sweat is seen as more human, and he talks about it more.
Yeah, you get to see like when he's Clark Kent as well in the newest Superman.
Yeah.
You get to see him as Clark Kent where he is genuinely just a human being.
Yeah.
Like he's not trying to put anything on. Like he is, like. Because what you see a lot in many Superman adaptations is a clear gap between Clark Kent and Superman. Like they're completely different people.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, you don't see that a lot. You see Superman and Clark Kent as just one person.
Yeah, it's less of an alter ego.
Yeah, less of an alter ego, which just shows how honest and true Superman really is. Whereas Man of Steel doesn't really do that too much.
I still think he's portrayed in a good way, Henry Cavill's. Like, there's bits in it where he is portrayed as being, like, a better person. I don't really think he's all doom and gloom. Like, him saving his bully and the entire bus of kids, that shows him at a young age already doing good and already wanting to help people, which I think is good. And him and his dad's, like, relationship in it, a lot of people, like, critique it because he let him die. But that was, like, his father's dying wish, that he didn't use his powers in public. Otherwise, he would have been in a lot of trouble with the government.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotional, there's a lot of emotional stuff behind Henry Cavill's Superman, 100%. Like, you get to see, I feel like the emotion in Man of Steel is a lot more embedded than the current run of Superman. Like, you get to see David Corenswet's emotions so well. Like, you get to see how he's feeling, whereas in Man of Steel, you don't get to see that as much.
Yeah. But I feel like it's because he's probably been through more.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, him actually having to watch his dad die. And, like, Superman has memories to look back on. Like, Cornsweat's one. Yeah. He has memories to look back on of his family on Krypton. Man of Steel Superman doesn't have that.
Yeah. He just gets pure hatred.
He's not really got hatred. He's a good person.
I mean, he gets hatred. Not that he gives off hatred.
Yeah, he does. But it's nice that they actually did that in Cornsweat's one. Like, they still showed him after that footage got leaked from his parents.
You get to see a replacement of that video at the end, and I feel like that's what singles out that Superman, because you get to see him actually adapt. Like, you don't see that a lot in Man of Steel. You don't get to see him learning from his mistakes or adapting.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's Superman. So there's not a lot of physical development, there's only emotional development, and you don't see a lot of emotional development in Man of Steel, whereas in Superman you get way more than you're allowed to.
Yeah, it's more focused on the fights, and I feel like it had to be more gritty because Zack Snyder wanted a realistic Superman.
Yeah.
and he made it all so gritty to fit the realism.
But I
But
feel
it
like
just
that just
depends on
ruined
what
it.
people want.
Yeah.
Because some people want it to be like the animated shows like Colin Sweats is, but then more people want it to be realistic because of things like The Dark Knight. And the realism, it appeals to older
It definitely
people.
appeals to more mainstream fans.
Yeah,
Whereas James Gunn's adaptation, it is very much a universal thing. I feel like current fans enjoy it. Like parents, I feel like they would have enjoyed it.
yeah.
It's a very large demographic that the current run of Superman has, whereas Man of Steel was more for super fans and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's just for more people who want like a more mature thing
Yeah.
to watch.
Like something a bit more serious, but more gritty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that is what people like. Older people do enjoy that more in superhero films. Like they don't want it to be too happy. Like they want to see more struggles from the superheroes than it just be all sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you don't get that a lot in David Corn Sweats either, I don't think. I think you get a lot more sadness from James Gunn's adaptation, actually.
Yeah,
I feel like you get a lot more seriousness as opposed to Man of Steel.
I'd say there's just a lot more comic relief with it though, with people like
It's-
Guy Gardner being there and
Yeah.
like his dog Crypto. Like they're all just there for like comic relief.
But it's very subtle comic relief
Yeah.
at that, and even the characters that are there for comic relief, they're still really like well portrayed into like they're not just there for comic relief. They have their
Yeah.
own characters, they have their own depth. Even Crypto,
Yeah,
like when Crypto gets kidnapped, you get to see David Cornswell Superman kind of be like John Wick at that point, where he kind of goes to Lex Luthor,
Yeah.
and then he's like, "Where's the dog?" I feel like that was captured very well.
yeah. There's just different aspects. I think it just appeals to different audiences. Both movies.
Yeah,
And that's like the main
100%.
thing.
No, I mean, I'll disagree with you that there. I feel like Zack Snyder's Superman very much does appeal to a certain demographic,
Yeah.
whereas James Gunn's is more universal.
Yeah, I'd say it's just for younger audiences too. Like Man of Steel, I wouldn't say it's for younger audiences
all,
with the
no.
way it's done and showing Superman killing and letting people die,
Yeah.
which isn't really something that kids should be watching. But then Colin Sweat saves everybody. He is like a
Well,
better representation. in
See,
some
you
ways.
saying that, I'm going to disagree with you saying that he saves everybody. In that movie, it's actually shown that he can't save everybody. Like when the Justice Gang show up to Jahanpur.
Yeah.
In that movie, it shows that Superman isn't just like a god who can do everything all at once.
Yeah.
It shows that he's dealing with other stuff. So sometimes there will have to be like a relief team there.
Yeah, and that's something that Man of Steel didn't have, and that's where the David Cornsweat Superman comes closer to the animated shows.
Yeah.
Where there's always more characters.
There's always
I
more
think-
characters there to save people.
I think that just being the first movie in the series, like, and they didn't want to establish everything. They wanted everybody to be new. So they wanted everyone to have their own movies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they couldn't really do it as well.
It's because James Gunn as well, he's always been adamant about keeping stuff canon and keeping like timelines very easy to understand.
Yeah.
Because you don't really see that a lot in the DCU, do you? Like,
No.
it's very difficult to follow if you've not been following since the start. Whereas, like, I think that James Gunn is very much trying to establish like a very clear cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Rather than just like this movie comes out and then this movie comes out, but it's not related to this movie. They're not in the same. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's a better way to do it because all them characters have been established in like loads of forms of media.
Yeah.
Like even Clayface, like the movie they're making for Clayface, that's already been established, that character, and he's a really famous character. So they don't really need to do as much with the backstories. They can just focus on the character's actual growth.
Yeah, definitely.
Like physically stronger.
Yeah. So just in terms of power, ability, battle IQ, stuff like that, how they handle certain situations as well.
I'd say Superman, Henry Cavill's Superman is probably stronger because he doesn't have people to rely on. And he fights Zod, who's like trained from birth to be like a perfect soldier who has the same powers. Superman had to fight a dumbed down version of himself, who,
Yeah.
which is a lot easier to come
To be fair, the dumbed down version of himself wasn't a dumbed down version of himself. He was being controlled by Lex Luthor,
Yeah,
and like you can see him. He was genuine. Like at the beginning with the Hammer of Baravia, he was dumbfounded. He didn't know what to do. Like you get to at the start of the movie, you get to see him, like battered and beaten up, which I feel like it does show that he's stronger in some way, like as opposed to Man of Steel,
yeah,
because it shows that even though he's been beaten to a pulp, he's still going back. Like he still goes back to finish the fight. He doesn't give up, which I feel like like strength isn't just physical strength. It's also like if you're strong enough to continue.
yeah.
If you get what I mean.
But even then, all that Cornsweat really had, or Henry Cavill really had to do, was all that Cornsweat had to do was fight the Hammer of Baravia, and he has like a major weakness, which is that he is dumb on his own.
Yeah.
So all Crypto had to do was break the cameras, so Lex couldn't communicate, and Zod didn't have that. Zod was just like a monster.
Yeah, he was just
and he
insane.
had no weaknesses, and Superman still had to kill him.
Yeah.
And it showed. I think that even though he killed him, I think it was done in a really good way.
Do you think his powers in general are better than that of David Corenswet, or?
I think they miss out a few powers in Man of Steel. Like they don't really show the ice breath and stuff like that, which isn't really shown in many Superman things.
I mean, it was shown in the current Superman in James Gunn's, which I feel like is the reason why he could be stronger, purely because he utilizes all of his powers rather than his strongest ones.
I just don't even know if Henry Cavill's has that, because a lot of the Supermans, they don't really use the ice breath and stuff like that.
I feel like it's very glossed over.
Yeah.
But I feel like it is still there.
I feel like they just stick to the laser vision and the flight and the strength, and
they stick to the easy
because he has more powers than that.
Yeah, he has way more.
But yeah, I think it's just keeping it simple for the audiences, and it probably saves them a bit of money.
Definitely, but that's why I commend James Gunn, because he just went for it. He covered pretty much everything, whereas Zack Snyder kind of, I mean, if you know what kind of person Zack Snyder is, you know what kind of movies he makes.
Yeah, they're like more edgy. And
yeah,
they're
a lot more edgy.
And I think he's a perfect director for a Watchmen kind of movie.
Yeah, because I mean, if you've seen Zack Snyder, he's just like a big bulky gym bro.
Yeah, he's super edgy, all of his movies.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I don't really think he should have been in charge of all the DC universe stuff.
Yeah, 100% not.
But things like Watchmen, he is perfect for, because they're like all characters who suit him as a director.
I mean, yeah, I feel like certain directors should be given certain franchises.
Yeah.
Like James Gunn, when he was given Guardians of the Galaxy, that was his, that like, it couldn't make more sense.
It fits him. And he's done things like Scooby-Doo, which, even though they didn't do that well, they're like really good adaptations from the cartoons.
Really good live actions.
Well, I watched the first 3 original movies with Michael Reeves with my dad when I was a kid.
Oh.
And I thought they were good movies, but like looking at it again, they're not great, especially the second and third one.
Do you think it's more of like a nostalgia aspect?
Probably, but even then I'm not that keen on the movies after looking back at them.
Really?
I think the first one's pretty good, but then the third one is horrendous and the second one isn't as good.
Do you think it slowly declines as the franchise continues?
Yeah, a lot of them do that, but I think it's just because they were limited to with everything that they had back then. Like, it is a super old superhero movie. It's one of the oldest ones.
100%. Yeah, I mean, do you remember Christopher Reeves?
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Reeves was like the Superman that everyone knew at that time.
Yeah.
I think he's related to Michael Reeves in some way.
Is it his son?
I think he's his son, yeah.
Yeah, he was in the new Superman movie as like a reporter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Like a good cameo there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my earliest memory of Superman was Christopher Reeves, purely because my dad showed me Christopher Reeves. Because my dad's quite old. But I kind of never really enjoyed Superman really as a kid. I was shown obviously stuff about him, but I was never interested in Superman, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like when we were children, when we were like young kids, it was really a big thing. Superman.
I think it's because there weren't as many good adaptations of him in live action.
100%.
But the cartoons, they always do it really well with Superman and Batman. But Batman had better live actions throughout
Yeah.
that entire thing. 'Cause he is just like the hero. He has
Yeah,
the
I
most
think
movies.
our generation were more infatuated with Batman than
Yeah.
like Batman and Spider-Man, because that was what was like, in terms of cartoons and live action, they were like they
The
were
best,
taking
they were the
over. Yeah, they were the
biggest.
best.
Even games like Batman and Spider-Man have like the best games.
Yeah, they had the best games of the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And even now, like the 2010s, well, we're in the 2020s now, but even in the 2010s, Spider-Man had that market cornered.
But they've always had them two heroes. They're like the main ones, and Superman is too. But you can't really make a game to appeal to more people for Superman because he is just that strong.
Yeah,
With Batman and Spider-Man, they're not too strong where you can't make a game with them and have
they
them
have
balance.
depth, they have character.
Yeah.
Like, it's quite hard to actually write a story for Superman, for like a Superman game as well.
Because he's just too strong. It wouldn't be as real because he would just one-shot everybody he fights.
Yeah, like the whole game would be you not losing and just getting through it.
But they couldn't do that, so they'd just underpower Superman a load.
Yeah, which wouldn't make the game as good.
Yeah.
Because you'd have to dumb down the powers, and it just wouldn't be, it wouldn't make sense canonically as well for Superman.